New nails, new month, new video. Happy October, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. I'm going to be talking about self-surveillance, digital slavery, the need we all have to constantly be producing some sort of content from our lives and basically always need to profit off of our pain, off of everything we do, and thinking in this observer mindset. Like, we view ourselves out of body. We view ourselves from somebody else's perspective and how we can sell it, basically. Maybe not everyone, but I think a lot of us are in this era of self-surveillance. And I think it gets to a point. I don't think it's all bad. Obviously, I'm a content creator. And this can vary on different levels, but I do think everybody, to a certain extent, has this this thing in the back of their head in this era, which is, how can I make what I'm doing right now into content? How can I reproduce everything to look more palatable, be more aesthetic? And it almost gives you this, it puts you in this analytic mindset towards yourself, and it takes you out of that feeling state. Because now you're thinking, and you're thinking about how you're coming off. And I think it starts to activate your parasympathetic nervous system in a fight or flight manner when you're in that state of self-surveillance for so long. Now, this digital slavery aspect, I learned this term so recently, and I think it's so useful. Because, it's kind of that concept of, and I'm not talking about like me at all for this, because I have a regular job. I have a job, okay? I'm not like, I don't rely only on content creation as my main form of income. So when people say like that, I traded my 9-to-5 for a 24/7. Well, I never had a 9-to-5, but I've always worked. So I sort of have this independent contractor lifestyle that this aids or kind of funnels into. But people who have traded their 9-to-5 for content creation have said that they're now just a slave to something else. But I think this concept extends way beyond that specific situation into, well, how am I personally, for myself, how am I going about are there ways that I'm going about my day where I'm not in it and I'm not present because I'm thinking about how I can turn what I'm doing into content, or I'm just always thinking about content? So like, if you're on a walk, are you always thinking about how you could be how maybe you should be filming it, and should I be doing some kind of vlog right now? Or when I do a vlog, what am I? And here's the thing, this is why I'm saying it is such a gradient, and it is so not black and white. I think there's a line, and I think there's a point, because, for me, a lot of times I do go on walks and I do think about content. Do I think that's always bad? No. Of course not. I think that's great. I call it an ideas walk. Do I think if I can never enjoy my walks, and I'm always thinking about how I can turn, walks or any day-to-day thing that I'm doing into content, then that becomes digital slavery, right? And I think here's how I would describe where I am in this conversation, which is why I love doing these videos, because now I have to dive into myself in a way that I actually haven't yet, and you're about to witness me figure this out for the first time. So I am pretty good at going for walks and being present when I want to be present, and turning off my content brain in a certain regard. I'll say I have times where I'm obviously not going to be filming, and I know I'm not going to be filming, and I'm just like living my life, and I'm off, and I'm wearing sweats, and I might look a little like very contemporary dancer chic, and I don't really care, and I'm not gonna film, and I'm not in the mode to film, and I don't feel bad about that. However, what I do think I still have a bit of slavery to in my mind is the opinions of other people, things that have happened on the internet and how they've affected me and how long they affected me for. That part, I think, is very much I was a slave to people's opinions. So you can be a slave to the content or the fallout, right? The feedback or the cycle of creation and all of it. Well, okay, so there's this concept that people who I think are smarter than me and probably have it right believe in, which is that you shouldn't really be taking anybody's opinions very personally or seriously towards yourself. Like it's information, but to not necessarily apply it or digest it to the point where it really hurts your heart, or affects your heart or affects how you see yourself. Okay? Affecting how you see yourself from not just negative comments, but also positive ones. Now, isn't that tricky? But this is something that the first person I heard say this is one of my favorite. I haven't watched her in a little while, to be honest with you, because I haven't been on my like spiritual YouTuber grind as much as I was probably during the pandemic and before that, the 5 years before that. Hitomi. You know me, Hitomi. Amazing channel on here. And I'm actually mutuals with her on TikTok. She is one of the first people in her videos that I heard say, I don't take anybody's feedback personally, positive or negative. And that shook my brain a little bit. I was like, positive? You don't take positive feedback personal? But she was like, hey Google, cancel all alarms. Sorry, you guys.
Your alarm for 3:30 p.m. is canceled.
Alexa, cancel all alarms.
Canceling all your alarms.
Thank you for that intermission. Hope you had time to take a sip of water and subscribe and send this video to a friend because I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. This is my passion. Please support me. I love you. Okay. Thank you for that short intermission. We all needed that. So I want to divest. Is this the right word? From other people's opinions, period. I just think it's hard to not want to put value in what other people think of you, period. But then to not even want to take the positive ones seriously because you know if you put stake in that, you put stake in the negative, you probably put more stake in the negative. And then, so here's the thing. I started to get to the point, I think I have a pretty decent tolerance for people's dislike of me at this point because I've had to. But it gets to a point where certain things become so overbearing and so toxic that I think for any single person, any human, yes, if you're sensitive, but I honestly think in general, it's too much. And I think it breaks your brain and it puts you into fight or flight in an unhealthy way. And then you do become a slave to that feeling of, what do people think about me? Well, I'm in other people's brains about myself. I'm consistently on the outside looking in at myself. I'm thinking of the outsider's perspective or the other person's perspective, the person looking at me. I can't just be me. And I think whenever you can't live in your own experience in your own present moment in your own body for a sustained period of time without falling into the cycle of thinking about something. I also feel this way about disordered eating. I think that is what you call an issue or like an unhealthy allegiance to something if you can't resist falling into obsessing over it. So I decided that I kind of want to take my life back in that way. In the sense of, yes, it's divesting from people's opinions, which I think is going to be a process to really teach myself and learn. I think I've mentioned on here, I've been reading The Courage to Be Disliked, and it's such a life-changing book. I love it so much. It's written philosopher student dialogue style, which is the easiest style for me to read is dialogue. I read fastest when it's dialogue. I'm most interested in dialogue. So really effective, really amazing book. Highly recommend. And I am going to do a full review on it if you want to start reading it now. Also, I've been thinking about doing a book club. Can you comment please if you would like a book club? And what that could be, it could have several iterations. It could be on YouTube. It could be mostly on YouTube and then a little bit on TikTok. And then maybe there's a higher level if people are really interested where we could have some sort of like other platform that we talk about it on and like more group chatty. I'm not sure, but Let me know if anybody would be interested in that, because I will set that up. Like, I've been wanting a book club. Did I just come up with like my best idea ever, is to create my own book club where we actually read things that I'm actually interested in, instead of like things that everybody wants to only read nonfiction. And I like nonfiction, but I need some fiction and literary, wait. Give me that drive your plow over the bones of the dead type beat, okay? I'm reading that at the same time. Halfway through both. I digress. I need to take my life back. I need to not be always focusing on... See, I wouldn't say that I spend too much time thinking about content creation, like in the sense of what I'm going to create. I think that when I am thinking about creating, that's fun for me. I think the part that feels like unhealthy and like digital slavery is the obsession with other people's opinions. For me in particular, maybe some people are like not enjoying their life as much because they film too much. I wouldn't say that's the case for me. I would say I have moments where I put the phone down and I breathe. But I would say that in those moments where I'm breathing, the thoughts that come up are about other people's perspective of me. And I think that that's unhealthy and it happens too much, Kira. And that's what I would like to divest. Please let me know if I'm using that word right. I'm pretty sure I am. From. Defund that in my brain. Hey, Google, please stop. Cancel all alarms. She don't listen to me.
Your alarm for 3:35 p.m. is canceled.
This is because I have to go to work soon. But now you know what time it is, and you know how fast I will have gotten this video up on October 1st. Timestamp. It's kind of magical in a way. It's a little space-time continuum pierced hole. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm making this up. I want to be more devoted to my interests and to my creativity. And part of that is creation for me. I want to be more dedicated to the process of output. And I've been going off of my writing lately, guys. I'm writing a book, and I have an idea for another book that I think is actually going to be insane. Insane in the sense of insanely good. Like, I already have a title that I love, and it's going to be about friendships between women of color and white women mostly, but also just like friendship issues, neurodivergent friendship, like being a neurodivergent in friendships with neurotypical people, other people who expect certain things from you, going off script. Like, I just have such good, I think it's going to be really good, actually. And then I have my poetry book that is on the way and will be out soon. So I've been writing a lot. I've been journaling so much, and I need to spend more time in that land of self-authority, self-validating, and being devoted to my crafts and the process of it and the output, and not so much with the feedback from it. And yes, this phrase, take it with a grain of salt. It's impossible, bro. It's impossible. I'm a Pisces. What do you mean? A grain of salt will get lost in the water here. But this sea monster that keeps trying to bite my ankles, well, I can see it, and the reflection is clear to me because I know where it is even when I'm not facing it. I can feel its presence, and it's making waves in the ocean. Where's that freaking grain of salt? I don't know. How am I supposed to keep track of a grain of salt? In this massive ocean that is my emotions. Someone tell me. Someone let me know. I'm working on that. And feeling like I can just output and care less about the input. Sometimes I try to like not check the stats as much. These are the things that I feel unhealthily addicted to checking and to knowing and to thinking about the outside perspective and the feedback. But as a dancer, growing up as a dancer, aren't you trained to listen to feedback and sift through it for every little bit of information, every single correction? How can I make myself better based on, how am I supposed to undo all this? Someone tell me, how am I meant to undo all of that? That seems like pretty strict conditioning. I've danced since I was 2 years old. I'm now 27. All my life I've danced and done that, taking correction. Well, I think I just figured out the source of my problems. Isn't it crazy? I just really therapize myself so much on this channel. So please subscribe. I need to go. And I will see you soon. I love you. Please let me know if you relate to this. If you have gone through this thought process, if you feel like you're in that sort of digital detox, not detoxing from like, I'm not talking about your stereotypical digital detox. I'm talking about how can you detox from your relationship to online opinions? Because that's what sticks with you, even if you go out for a walk. Something to think about. And let me know about book club, okay? And let me know names we could have come up with a fun name, okay? I think I need to create a community, because like, what's even going on? Like, we need an anchor. I mean, like, what's even going on in the world and in just like the way life is? I don't know. I think it just might be good to have a community that I can build with values that mean a lot to me, values that I have. I should give it a shot, right? Anyways, okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.